Hello, welcome back to the Nova Show Real Estate Records. I'm Karla Rivera, and today I have Anna Hardy with me. Anna is a real estate professional. She has been in our industry actually over 10 years, and she has a diverse clientele from buyers to sellers, some investors. She's also bilingual and navigates multiple roles in her family life as a mother, wife, and friend. But most importantly, when it comes to this role, she really specialized in getting you to home ownership with clarity and confidence. We're going to talk today a little bit about what Anna was doing before real estate, what landed her here, what she's seeing in the current market, and what future plans are ahead. So, thanks for being here, Anna. I'm excited to have you.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, so I started originally with bank staff, serving as a bank teller, and that's what got me into the wanderings of real estate. As well as I've always helped out my parents with their homes.
Oh, nice. Are they investors or tell me a little more about that?
So they own multiple properties. Uh, they love to do the house hack where you live with it a couple years, and they rent it, become landlords, and then buy another home. So I've always seen that, and I like bought my first home very young when I was like basically almost 19.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was always
Yeah, that is
something that
super young.
yeah. And with the bank, when I started that, my goal was always to get into mortgages and just get to know more of that. I would always like talk to the loan officer, the mortgage loan officers, and then I ended up transferring up to the department there. And that's where it all started with, I wasn't doing processing, I was doing the closing at the end,
Right.
which I thought was fun.
Yeah, that
Until
sounds fun.
I saw like when it was ready to go. And then still had those relationships with them. I got pregnant with my twin girls. So I stayed home a little bit, but still helped with my parents and their properties. And then they were like, you should get your real estate license. It's like, yeah, I should. And then I did. And originally I thought maybe I would just help my family, because I had little ones. My life was kind of chaotic. But as I got older, I was like, oh my gosh, I really love helping people get into homes. And I have been able to build wealth through real estate. And I love to just show people how to do that. So yeah,
Yeah, the share the wealth. I love it.
yes, yes. So it became a huge part of just the passion behind what I do.
I love that. Well, and since you brought up your girls and not just one baby, but twins, how have you navigated that? I know real estate is not really something that stops, right? You're on the clock from the moment you're up to the moment you lay down, I'm sure.
Yes.
And same with the mother. Actually, you're still on the clock when you're sleeping.
I know, right? It's like you're still thinking about it. Well, when I have my twin girls, that kind of gave me a little step back. I'm like, okay, let's figure this out.
Which how awesome, by the way, as your first to just get twins.
I know everybody's like, that's crazy.
Yeah, and you just did it.
Yeah, but they were great. And then I also had my son shortly after. So they were like about almost 20 months apart.
Oh, wow.
So it was a lot. And so I got my real estate license thinking, you know what? This is something that I'm going to just build relationships with. So as they're little, I started working on the house, just building a lot of relationships, connecting with people, networking. By the time they started school, I had established, a decent amount of relationships. I was helping clients at that point, and it just made it to where I could have a schedule, right? When they go to school, I focused on work. I also have great help, my husband, my mom. So
Yes, it's so important to have the right support.
oh my gosh, huge. So with that, I mean, I'm blessed with that. So if I have showings, during after hours, I can count on them. But yeah, it's a teamwork, but we make it work, and it's so rewarding, and the kids love it. They think I'm famous, but I'm not.
Not so cute. No, I love that. When your kids are proud of you, it's honestly the most rewarding thing. Like you made it in life for sure.
I'm like, no one else needs to see.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously others are. You've made such a big impact in our industry. You've helped so many families and not just for the people you're helping buy and sell, but I think you're an example to other agents, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love that. I mean, anybody that ever asks me, like, what am I doing or, how am I getting deals? I'm an open book. This
Yeah.
is what I'm doing. And I don't think I'm doing anything crazy different. I just think consistency is big. And obviously, I post a lot on social media.
Yeah, which in today's world is so important. That's where people go to get information.
Yes. And like, that's been,
I mean, me included, right? I'll be like, let me just check the Facebook news or whatever. Like, it's good enough.
what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. No, seriously, like we just open. I think that's just like a natural thing. Like back in the day, get newspapers.
Yeah.
Our beings, we open up our phones. The first thing we go to is our social media. So yeah.
Well, I love that it actually keeps people so connected to in a wider range and allows for us to share our creativity because even though everyone is posting, it's still so unique to you.
Oh, for sure.
Like with the trends even, right? Like you change something up about it and it's yours. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and especially now with like AI being so big, I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
I need to make sure it's original to me, whether it's a trend, whether doing something that someone else did something, and I'm trying to make it my own. It's like just putting your face to it is so helpful for people to connect with you.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of that, I think something I've admired of you always is that you're super approachable. So I'm sure your clients feel that as well and your peers because I mean I think we've met through passing, right? But you're always friendly, you're always kind. And that is probably also part of why your clients have built so much trust with you. Or you've built so much trust.
Yeah, I mean, I try extra hard because I'm like, I don't want anyone to ever think I'm not approachable. I want to be nice. I want to be kind. So sometimes people don't notice that they're giving that impression.
Yeah.
So I think if you're self cautious about it, like, oh, like I'm being around people and make sure they feel welcome, make sure I say hi. Those things really make an impact with my clients. I want them to feel like they can rely on that if they feel a concern or something comes up. Sometimes they'll be like, I know it's a silly question. I'm like, no,
That
it's
you would
not.
ask me instead of assuming. Yeah.
Don't soon talk to me. And so as they get to know that, they build trust. And it's so important. I feel like it gives them that better result and better experience because buying home or selling a home is such like a huge investment.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stress behind it, good and bad. The excitement, the maybe being told no on an offer or negotiating things that you have to let go of. And
Yes.
that gets people really worked up.
I know. I think as an agent, I know so much of the stress that goes in behind what I do behind the scenes that I always try to be cautious of like how are they doing?
Yeah.
Like they're trying to get documents together. So I like to check in with them, like, hey, is the communication good? How's it going with the lender? Have you heard from this? Do you need that? Like, do we need to go over the inspection report again? Like, I want that to feel like, oh, she's checking up on us.
And that you're open at any time for communication. That's so great. Actually, yesterday I was talking with someone about what makes, well, as a team, what makes you successful versus not. And what it really boiled down to was communication and respect. So, one of my questions was going to be what are you doing to continue to build trust in such a competitive market, right? Because I think for the last year and a half, we've all kind of just been observing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so what's happening and just coasting through. But these are really good points of what you are doing every day, staying open, staying in communication. And it sounds like you're willing to revisit or go over things with your clients.
100%. And I think just having the knowledge too.
Oh, yeah.
Like people are so unsure. And then you give them the tools, the knowledge, the resources, and then that just gets them trust. They're like, oh, she is knowledgeable about this, or she doesn't know this. She's going to find out. There's
Gosh, that's so respectable because so many people just make things up, and then later on you find out that's not actually the way, and that's worse than to be like, oh, haven't run into this before.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they appreciate the honesty rather than like trying to for something and then they're like confused themselves. So yeah, I love full transparency like all the time. That's my initial like communication with them is like, hey, I'm full transparency. I don't want you to feel like there's any hidden fees, nothing that you don't know about. I'll rather tell you everything up front. And if it's too much, then we'll go over it as we go. So that way it's a reminder, but that way you don't feel like, whoa, like I didn't know that.
Yeah, or why didn't you bring this up? So tell me a little bit more about your communication styles. Do you feel like this is something that was implanted early on with your family? Or yeah, like I'm just curious, because in this industry, this that is the most important thing, how you make people feel and whether or not you communicate well.
I think with my communication, I try to gauge how that person wants to be communicated. So I have some people that want to hop on a phone call. And sometimes for a lot of clarity, I prefer that rather than a text message or emails. Sometimes I'll explain something because I want them to be able to read back to it and just have that for reference. But for the most part, I'm like, I explain it and then I'm like, hey, when you have 5 minutes, let's hop on the call to go over this.
Okay, so that's great.
Helps me like I could tell, right? I'm a full call on a conversation if someone's still kind of confused or if they have it, they
No, yeah, or whether or not they're comfortable or having some resentment towards the decision. I like that. Well, and I like that you said finding out what the communication style is because I bet you really do have to treat everyone so differently in order for them to feel seen and heard.
Yes, yes, because I feel like some people would probably get annoyed and call, they're like, I don't know.
Or they text you, why are you calling me? Am I in trouble?
Yeah, it's just an emergency, like they're panicking, right?
Yeah.
So I think just kind of gauging who my, audience is. Yeah. And then I know how to communicate so that way they feel good about it. And just always checking in with them. That's my biggest thing. Is like sometimes they get busy, I get busy, but I'm just like, hey, this is what we're waiting for. Like this is the next step, even though I had already said what the next
Yeah,
step
it's
is.
just so they know you're steadily on top of it and keeping them in mind. Well, I love that. What would you say, just kind of shifting topics, but when you first got into real estate, what was the surprise that you weren't expecting, whether it's, contacting clients or dealing with contracts and things like that? Anything that really stands out?
I think it was, and this is big. I think it's you go into it thinking everybody's gonna support you that knows you, like family and friends. And then, people will tell you, like, no, don't expect that, or, it's okay if they don't. Like, it's a, tricky line,
Yeah.
but it's still like,
Or some people just take time to see that, oh, yeah, she really is doing
that
that.
is it. Yeah. And I think it was just like when you get the feeling when you see it actually happen, you're just like, oh, that hurt my belly. But you don't want it to hurt your feelings because you're like, I should have, I know this. Like, not everybody that I know is going to use me or not all my family or whatever. But at first, that took a minute. And then I, you know, realized this is just the field that I'm
Just
in.
part of it.
It's part of it and it's okay. And now, thankfully, I'm now in a position where I feel like I would be, happy for anyone. Like, because you're still like happy for them, but it was still like, it was for some mess. You're like,
Could have helped.
yeah, but help just so much better.
But well, especially if it's a personal relationship,
Yeah.
because you already have that preset care for these people.
Yeah. So it was just that like emotional roller coaster. And talk about emotional roller coaster. I think that's another thing too that I didn't know what it would be like as a real estate agent. We go through highs and
Yeah,
lows. Like on the first in the morning, I could be at a high with, my offer got accepted, things are great. And then by noon, everything's falling apart. Like it's just and it takes a lot to be able to manage those high and low emotions because it can really just take you down.
Oh, yeah. Or even just keeping a forward thinking mindset like, yep, this happened, but we now have to do A or B.
Exactly.
Yeah. And oh, no, go ahead.
I was just saying at the same time when you're managing those emotions, you also have to manage your client's emotions at high loads. So it's like,
Well, that's actually what I was going to say. Like, and not just your emotions. You have to be that safe space for them to be able to express. Yeah. I've seen that a lot where you really wear a lot of roles. It's from counselor to, yes, realtor, translator, right? All the things, friend.
yeah.
And yeah, it's a lot, but it seems like you've really enjoyed it. Otherwise, you wouldn't still be here.
Right. Yeah, I think it takes like, that getting used to it of like, okay, can I handle this? And I think there's a lot of reasons why some agents are very successful and some that, struggle because, it's hard. It's not easy to go through those emotions. It's not easy to have an amazing month and then have crappy months after crappy months.
Well, and to stay disciplined through the low months where things aren't going your way. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
bet. Well, okay, so not really on this same page, but speaking of challenges, what would you say is the most challenging part when you're representing a seller versus a buyer?
Oh, okay. So the seller is definitely the pressure
Okay.
because you usually know their circumstances of like they have to sell because they're going through a divorce or because, they're moving out of state, they've got another job. Like you're just so into the next move. Yeah. You know the next move and if we have to sell it in a month, you know what the stakes are. So if it's not selling in a month or, they want to net a certain amount and we can't get them there, it could be a struggle. But I think if we just are transparent with them and say like, "Hey, in this market, this is what we're looking at
Yeah.
for your."
Well, and it's not even possible to be giving a hard deadline of when you're going to get it to the finish line. That's completely out of your control.
And sometimes you get it under contract and it falls through, and the seller's like, "But I already have everything lined up to move," and you're just like, "Okay, we're working on this." So the seller perspective, I feel like you have more pressure. Yeah, that makes sense. But in a way, I mean, it's not that it's less work, it's still about the same amount of work, but sometimes it's not as demanding as when you're presenting a buyer because with a buyer, sometimes you do know the timeline, like their lease is ending in 2 months. So you're going back and back and back, showing them properties. And, if the market is a little, harder, then sometimes that property is just not the one for them. It can get a little tricky, but I both have as challenges.
I'm sure all have challenges, but those seem to be the more common ones for you. Got it. Well, and I bet too with buyers, if it doesn't go their way, they're just discouraged, and then you have to go through that whole
Yeah.
roller coaster. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for the most part, I've been pretty like blessed, lucky to be able to build relationships and be able to know strategy to win them offers.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are times where the budget is just not there, and if we can't go higher, we can't go higher. And that can get a little discouraging. Sometimes, our rates are, getting better, but people are still looking at houses and they're like, yeah, this isn't even worth it. Yeah, right. Like maybe I should hold off. And I gave them the pros and cons about holding off, and they can make that decision for themselves.
I like that. It seems like you really are just more laid back and not about
No.
putting pressure. It's like, here's the facts, and you got it from there, and I'll be behind you on whatever decision.
I support whatever. And I know like there are some other agents that are more pushy.
Yeah.
And some people may like that a little bit more, but I'm just like, I'm not that pushy agent. Like I will show you any home. I will look up everything you need me to. I'll give you all the resources, but I will never push you. If you can need that push, I mean, you could tell me and I'll do my best, but I'm just not a pusher personally.
Hey, it's important to have both for sure because some people rather have the softer approach.
Oh, for sure.
So that's great. And obviously, you've been able to help plenty of families just by supporting whatever they're going through.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's huge for me.
I love that.
I gotta feel this is work.
Well, and tell me a little bit about your experience in different price points. Have you felt that it changes the dynamic of the transaction, or is it about the same?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if we're looking at a price point of like, 300 versus price point of 600, like you have more options, especially in the 300. I mean, the 300, you're looking at like condos, if you're lucky, townhomes further out. So that could be a struggle for,
And do you mostly specialize in Salt Lake County?
yeah.
Okay.
So what's that I name? But I go, yeah,
Okay, you go anywhere.
yeah, I'm like wherever my clients want, we'll go there. So and all the way out to Tooele, to Utah County, to Beaver County, so north, like or south, like wherever works best for them. And sometimes they're open to that because of their price point. Sometimes they can't, it's too long the commute. And then when we're in that lower price point, we usually have HOAs.
Oh yeah.
So that's
Something
something
also
does it off a bit. And it just sometimes they see something they really like, but we're like, oh, that HOA is crazy. Yeah, it kind of takes you off of the qualification under that. So yeah, definitely more limited options if they're on a lower price point. But for the most part, most of the people that start in that price, but they're excited just to be homeowners. So I love that. I'm like, yes, let's get you into something, and then you'll build some equity, and then you can either sell it or rent it, and then we get your other like
that's
stuff.
what I like that. You're giving them the vision of this is a stepping stone, and then we can get you to something else in the future.
Oh yeah, I'm like, I will sleep on that all the time. 'Cause that's what I did. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Well, and yes, it's better than no it for sure. So I like that. What do you think is the biggest misconception though with real estate as far as consume right like consumption right now, purchasing and also your role?
Okay, like, well, as far as my role, I think sometimes people think that they can do it on their own.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can, but there's a lot of things that can go wrong, you know?
Right. I mean, we could probably perform surgery. Oh, but it would not be ideal.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I've heard people say, like, I do this, like, myself before, like, some type of thing. And I'm like, well, we should have gone to the doctor.
Yeah.
But we got it turned out okay. But do you know if, like, you're going to have further problems in the wiring? No, you don't. So, anyway, it's just, people want to do it themselves. So, I think once I tell them, what I do, how I'm going to protect them, how we're in the market where, the seller is paying for that. So, they don't have to worry about another expense when they're buying, then they're like, oh, yeah, no brainer.
Yeah.
And same with selling, it's like you can sell your house, but there's so many things that can go wrong. It could be crazy. You really want the liability or
Yeah.
and if I show you the numbers, I promise you'll be making more if you have representation. What like people just see it as like, oh, this is gonna cost me. And
No, I totally get that. I think it happens with projects too. People want to save money up front, but they end up losing more money in the long run. Or sometimes happens with listings.
yes,
They sit longer, they don't get the right exposure, or at the time of negotiation, they don't know what to do.
like yeah, or they're like, oh, I did that myself and it looks good, but oh well, maybe I should have just take some to yeah, no, for sure.
Cool. Well, it sounds like you're very calm in your delivery. So I bet when you're explaining things to your clients, they're like, oh, yes. Again, going back to there's just no pressure there.
Yeah.
And that's sure very reassuring for them, I bet.
Oh, for me, it's like no pressure at all. Even if they told me, like, oh, I'm talking to another agent or I'm, exploring my options, I'm like, please do. Like, please do.
Like that.
And if I can help you, great. And if you find somebody else, I wish you the best. Like, there's no pressure for me to be like, pick me, pick me.
Well, and for them too, I mean, if anything, that probably makes them want to work with you more because you aren't stressed, you're not commission hungry, you're just really trying to find someone you're in alignment with.
Right. Right. And I think sometimes, they'll either go with someone of like, oh, I can sell your house biggest and
Oversells with the words. Yeah.
yes. And then it's not selling. And then they start, texting you, calling you, like, oh, can you find me a buyer? Or, and they're just like, that's what your agent should be doing. Of course, if I'm a buyer, I'll bring it to you. But it's not about that. Like, you chose somebody else, and I respect that. And now I could tell you're kind of regretting that decision, but
Yeah.
it's just what happens, Like sometimes people just feel the genuine in your conversation and they want to go with that instead. And sometimes people are just so stuck in the number, but they go with something and then they kind of regret it.
Yeah, it's like that instant gratification because it sounds good.
It sounds
Yeah.
good. Yeah, you're like, well, I can't, I liked her, but I want to see this number.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I shouldn't see it though.
Right. And time is money too. So if it's sitting longer, that affects everything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But okay, well let's shift again. I know right now there's a lot of demands for real estate professionals, right? We've experienced changes with commission, changes with interest in our government, all these things. What would you say is your biggest demand that your clients are needing?
Demand like they want to know about.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the interest rates. I feel like the past just
That's been what that doesn't go away.
the way. I feel like I can get somebody, all the resources, all the grants that are available to tell them they can get into a home, with a certain, like I could help them get concessions to get a lower rate. But they hear
Okay,
that
so they're
the
just
interest rate is
sticking
high.
to that.
Yeah, and they're always like, no, the interest is high. I'm just gonna wait. And I'm like, is that the issue? I can
Yeah, or we can lower the rate.
yeah. I mean, there's so many builders that have great incentives with
That's
rates
true.
that are like, okay,
Or sellers that are willing to
yeah,
give concessions, and like you said, you can utilize that to bring the rate down.
yeah. Or even like a symbol loan that's become a little more popular where it's like, I do have the 3% and it's an assumable loaning and a person can take my 3%. And
Yeah,
like,
that's true. I don't think we hear about that enough.
yeah. Yeah. So I'm like, there is a way. It's just, I think it's when they hear the media, like interest rates have dropped, but not quite like 3%. Then they're like, oh, well, wait.
So yeah, probably that is the one thing. If we had a magic wand, I think we would all bring rates down. But even then, and I don't know, maybe you don't agree, but when rates were low, our prices skyrocketed. So you're still paying more or having to bring more cash to close.
So close.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I explain that, I say, we're at a perfect point right now where interest rates aren't crazy high.
At home, prices are so stable.
Stable. We can still negotiate. Once those interest rates go down a little bit more, you're gonna get excited, get wild. But everybody's gonna get excited. And what does that mean? We're gonna start overpaying for homes, like we saw in 20.
Right. Oh, that's the
Why?
thing for me that's I think been the most shocking is that even after experiencing the pandemic where people saw others paying above value,
Yes.
they're still wanting the rates to drop to that low.
So that, yeah, no, for sure.
Where for me, it seems like a healthier market to have it in the mid fives.
Yes, that's what I always tell people. Like, I know this seems high, but this is actually
Healthy. Yeah, for the whole industry.
yes, yes. It's like perfect. It's like homes are now selling between 30 to 60 days. I like sometimes I need that's healthy.
Yeah.
We were used to like putting a house in the market
2 days.
visits
If
at
that.
2
Next day.
hours. Like, and we had a lot of people coming from California. They had, more money and the table, which just really discouraged people at that time. So I think we have two different markets now. We have, people that did hold out then and still held out when the registries were like 7, almost 8.
Mhm.
And now they were going down. They're like, hey, this is the time because they saw it and experienced it. So, yeah.
No, that's a really good point. Have you felt that anytime the market shifts, you just pivot with whatever you can help with?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
And I feel like you have to in order to make it.
Oh, yeah. I feel like sometimes, at least when I started real estate and being a realtor, people were like, I'm just telling my clients to wait. And I was like, what?
Well,
Why would you tell your
there's
clients
still
to wait?
opportunity.
Yeah, like if they want to buy a home, then find it. Like that's our job, like not to tell them to
Like
wait.
basic 101.
Yeah. So I was just kind of caught off guard, and people would be like, "Oh, this market's so hard," and it was like, "Not for me." Like, I'm actually having the best year of my real estate career, like, and it's because of that. Like, I don't focus on it. Like, whatever the market's doing, we just adjust to it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like,
And are most of your clients through your own, relationships? I know you said you worked on building relationships when your kids were a little bit younger.
yeah, yeah. A lot of them is that. A lot of it is social media. I have.
And you've always been a solo agent, is that right?
Yeah.
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 Wow.
I
You
know.
just went for it.
I love Florida. I've never been on a team. I think I like that because I like to be independent. I don't like to, have to rely on someone. I don't want someone making me feel like I have to be somewhere. I just wanted the responsibility of my clients and me.
Well, and if you have the discipline to follow up and
Yeah.
stay up to date with them, I think
Yeah.
you're living proof that it works.
Yeah, for sure. Like consistency, having a schedule, following up. And that's worked for me. I know some people love working in teams, and that's great. I think
Yeah.
for some that everyone's a little different. Yeah.
What would you say if you had to describe a superpower of yours? What would that be? It doesn't even have to be in real estate, but
Okay.
I feel like it plays a role probably in every part of your life, right?
I've actually been told that I am good at arguments.
Okay. So this makes you a great negotiator.
That's what I found.
You're like, that's a compliment.
That's a compliment. And then after people would point it out, I did start noticing that I'm very logic. I know who I'm working with, and then once I know who I'm working with, then I know how to approach that person. And then I'm always like I always tell my husband, I'd be a great judge because I don't hurry and assume. Oh, like someone can tell me something has happened, or what do you think of this? And I try to look at all things before I'm like, oh, this person's guilty, just judge us there. So I guess that's a superpower of mine. Like I could be calm and observant and observant. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of us struggle with that pause of thinking through before we react, whether it's verbally or with action, right? Like
Right.
it's a lot harder for people to just sit back and kind of dissect what's in front of them.
And I think it's like once you deliver something, it's so hard to go back and be like, oh, I didn't mean it like that, or I'm sorry, I was really upset. Like, I don't like to do that whole thing. I'd rather just take a pause, see how I'm going to respond.
That's a really good coping skill.
Yeah.
For any kind of conversation.
Yeah.
What other stuff do you do in your day to day, like rituals that may, or that's maybe not the best word, but like, do you have a set routine for your mornings or nights that helps you recalibrate and set that down?
Like that's my inspo to like like from 11 to 12. But I feel like with real estate, our schedules
You just say flexible, yeah.
so I try to like get up, work out. I should, take my kids to school, but not my husband's able to take. So nice. Like some time for myself. So I like to do that.
And they're a little older now, so they're not fully dependent on you.
Yeah, what makes it nice. And then I like to do some spiritual stuff once in a while, sometimes in the car. So it's nothing like set schedule, but like just things that I can do that I'm like, okay, this makes me feel good throughout the day. Let me make it a habit.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular that you're like, I like to listen to this specific music, or I follow this person and just like seeing their stuff inspires me, or anything like
I'm
that?
not a specific person. I think I always like to be positive towards everyone. So, I know how hard it takes to get a deal, to get our contract, to get it sold. So when I see people killing it, I'm like, heck yeah, like good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, like just
And I do see that. I think Utah actually has a great culture within the industry where people are genuinely excited for one another. And I've seen so many collaborations in the last decade where whether it's with other realtors or lending partners or anything, like everyone just comes together. And like the gala last week. Yeah, we had such a great time.
that was so fun. And there was a mix of people, and people would look around and be like, wow, these are all competitors. Yeah, but like now in the industry, there's business for everyone. Like, I never see anyone as my competition. Like, I love that. I'm my own competition. Like,
Yeah, that's so strong to think that way. Like every day, if you're just trying to be better than yesterday, everything else is irrelevant.
yeah,
Doesn't mean you don't care about their success. It's just you're in your lane, I'm in mine, and we're gonna both get to the finish line.
yeah, like you can be doing great and so can I.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing great or if you're doing great and I'm not, doesn't mean that that's gonna affect
Yeah,
me.
or it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It's just timing a lot of it. Not having the right alignment with a specific client or such.
Sure. I think sometimes you could be inspired as in like, oh wow, they're doing this, that's working for them. Like, let me try it.
Yeah.
But I don't really have one person that I think. I mean, obviously we watch like reality
Yeah.
shows and we're like, oh, that's fun. That's a
Like entertainment.
it's entertainment. That's not somebody that I look up to as like my favorite.
No, but that's a great thing because you're giving yourself time for entertainment and distraction and to be a human outside of like, hey, if I have to be wearing this hat all day, making all these big decisions, and then also at home, right? Like as a mother, you are the go-to person, I'm sure.
Everything's like mama, mama, mama.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have so many tabs in my head. Big gig with clients, deadlines, like all these crazy things that it's like sometimes it's nice to just be like, hey, I'm gonna take just some time to watch some TV, like
Have a mindless
like,
activity here.
let me watch somebody else's problems.
Yeah, I love that.
And then you decompose and then you start, after that, okay, now I have this to work. But yeah, I mean my brain is capped with a lot of information.
Yeah. Well, no, thanks for sharing that. I think it gives other people permission to be a human. Like, you don't always have to be in your role or like crunch time, right? Even when things are at stake or you do have deadlines to meet, you still have full permission to sit back and recalibrate.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether it's right, like listening to a song or watching a reality show, so you can be like, oh, but I'm okay. Yeah, my life is fine. I don't know why I was crashing out.
Yeah, I was like, listen, we're crazy.
Yeah, but crazy fun to watch. Yeah. I love that. Well, okay, so outside of obviously seeing the huge reward with all these families and getting them to their next step, what has been the most exciting thing for you in real estate or most memorable?
Most memorable. I think there's a few things, obviously. The one that sticks out to me the most is when clients follow up with me afterward. Yeah. I'm like, oh, like thanks for thinking of me, whether it's their shitty or
I think you make them feel really special, especially at the end. I've seen some of your posts where you go big with the celebration and the gifts, and I've seen you even like go to the property beforehand and decorate it. Yeah, that's so cool.
I'm a little extra with that, but I love that.
It's a really big day. So
It's
yeah,
a huge celebration.
that's making it memorable for them for sure.
And I think I just want to be able to connect with them as well as and not like, hey, I was just your realtor. I'm here afterwards. Like, let me know if something comes up.
Well, and they seem to know that if you're reaching out after
Oh, yeah. I love that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't heard from you in a while, and this is
the
amazing.
best compliment. Yeah. And obviously well deserved. If they didn't feel like you really took care of them, I doubt that would happen.
Yeah.
I've heard that so much. It's like they've even done surveys, right, where they'll ask clients, "Hey, if you got a chance to work with your realtor again, would you?" And they say, "Yeah, but I just never like heard from them again." But to
Oh,
me, that's, oh, so they didn't impact you enough for you to be like, I'm going to reach out and
yeah.
ask a question or invite or, just check it.
I know. And that's the thing is like as realtors, we have so much on our plate that it is hard to just follow up with clients. But we can each have a different way. My way is through social media. Not all my clients are on social media, but we hold events, we do like holiday stuff, like anything that I'm like, okay, this is a reminder that I'm thinking about them. And even if I'm doing like a mailer and I'm writing their address where I see the address that it's sending to, I'm like, oh, like I
You
really love
remember.
that
Yeah.
house. They're so excited. And so I'll write a little note,
Oh,
like
cute.
so
It's very
whatever. Yes.
personalized.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, like I remember that. And I've been thinking about it. I was like, I want to do maybe like because you know how we take pictures for
Yeah.
cousins.
Yeah.
I've thought about like printing out just like a small picture, even if it's like years down the road, and be like, this was one of the best days.
That's actually a great idea. I'm sure they would.
Like just seeing the visual,
Yeah.
right? It just brings back all those memories. So that's how my to-do list. Like we're constantly like I feel like a good agent's constantly thinking about, yeah, they could do.
But it also sounds like you've made a big enough impact that it's your clients that are reaching back out. And that's an even greater compliment.
Yes, yes. I'm like, I'm glad that you show me now that you saw my work and you valued my work, and now we have a relationship, and that's all what this is about is building those relationships.
Do you feel like majority of your clients are Spanish speaking or do you have a pretty equal?
I like, yeah, I would say like 70% of my clientele are Spanish speaking.
Okay.
So even if they're not like full, like sometimes so it's like me, like they'll speak Spanish, but their like language is English, and
Oh, both.
yeah. So we'll speak a little
Or
Spanish.
Spanglish. Yeah. I know. I've had to jump on board with that. Years ago, I was like, oh my gosh, English or Spanish. And now I'm like, it's actually a little easier to go both.
Yeah, I love it. You just like get it,
And you can, yeah, be thinking of something and you're like, oh, I don't have to translate. I can just tell you whatever. Like,
Yes, and they feel that too. Like, so I think like in a certain age group, I could tell like we're like
Spanglish
is it?
yeah.
Sit them like we'll be talking, or if the parents are there, I'll try and say in Spanish so they can understand, and a certain word will pop up that I'm like, oh yeah, how do you say that? And I'm like, oh yeah, the warranty, and then it pop ups later, and then I'm like, la garantía, So it's like the first immediate response is in English, and I can't figure it out.
And have you noticed, because most of our consumers right now are older generation, and I think they're actually really supportive of that. Like in my experience, I'm not helping by yourself, right? But when I do forget a word, sometimes it's just even an opportunity for them, and it helps us connect, and we laugh it off and move on. Yeah.
I sometimes like they're shy to make it a word,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a word. They like,
What I'm trying to say is.
and they're just one geek so and then we laugh, and then we're like, okay, this is actually the right word for this. So it's another way to connect.
And where is your family?
Peru.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
South in Peru. And I came here when I was 8, so I actually was born in Peru.
Okay, I didn't know that. But yeah, so you've really probably grown up with both cultures then.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I feel like that middle, like I was born at home with my culture, but like
You grew
well,
up there.
everything
Yeah.
grew up here. So
Well, but it does make a big difference if you actually live your culture, because speaking the language is one thing, and that's great.
yes,
Understanding the cultures, the traditions, and even the dynamic of communication is a little bit different, right? So that's huge.
and I think that makes you stick out a little bit more. Yeah, I connect with you.
Like it's not I'm bilingual. It's, yeah, I get it. I've lived in another country. I know things are different.
Exactly. And even like, if I was like raised in Peru, I'd probably just connect more with Peruvian clients. I actually had another agent ask me, she said, oh, do you have a lot of Peruvian clients? And I was like, no, I actually have them for everything. Because I grew up here, so I'm not
But you
like
get to be diverse.
and to be diverse. But I don't my day like when people talk to me, they're not like it. It's not like I feel like you're from Peru. I just like they're Hispanic, and I'm like I love that because I love all cultures. I love that we have a lot of people from Venezuela here, and we have people from
Like,
Africa.
you're just super diverse, especially the
Yeah.
last 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I love that they can connect with me in that way rather than being like, oh, like in Spanish, like es la peruana. They're just like, no, it's Hannah Hardy. Like they have a different vision of me that I like. I'm like, no, I connecting with you with whatever your future is. Like
You just happen to speak the language.
exactly. Like when I have pupusas, I'll have pupusas. You want to have tacos, have tacos, whatever you want.
Well, yeah. Well, even within different Hispanic cultures, I think we still have a respect and understanding of like, hey, yeah, like we all shifted, right? We left our lives behind. We're here. And I get it. I get you. I don't know your story thoroughly, but I still can feel for you and have that respect.
We had that foundation of like, oh, we've had a different struggle.
Yeah.
Like we've had a different,
A different upbringing. And our
Really?
parents had a very different experience. Are both of your parents from Peru?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
Like,
yeah, I
awesome.
mean, even just like in our age group, a lot of us know what it's like to help our parents.
Yeah.
Translating or just helping them do documents, because this is important to them.
Oh, yeah. So that does allow you to help really anyone that's coming here, whether it's a different state or country, because there are different documents.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's like the translation and the resources that we have that we know is helpful for them is huge for them, because this is, I mean, buying a home in your own country
And
and
scary enough.
buying in another country, it's like, whoa, and obviously with immigration stuff going on, it
Yeah.
makes it more of easy for them. So
But it's great to have someone that does know what's going on.
yes.
And if people are still wanting to buy, you know how to handle it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You give them the pros and cons, and then that way they make their decision.
Right.
Confident.
Well, and I think that's what really differentiates a professional too. Like, if you know where to go moving forward, and I know you touched on that a little bit earlier, like, hey, in the worst case scenario, if you had to sell, this is what we can do, right? Like, that sounds so much different than, oh, well, let's just get you a house and see what happens. Call me and we'll figure it out. Yeah.
No, yeah. I think just them knowing, like, okay, this is my gosh. They feel good about it and they appreciate it. Like I have this cute bakery lady that just loves me because I helped her with her bakery. So we do commercial too, right? I focus more on residential, but
Which more power to you, girl. That's a whole other realm and language. Yeah.
it is, and it's not.
So you're trilingual, really.
Yeah, terrible. But I just like knew that if I referred her out to a commercial agent, she would just probably get left behind.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, no, I want to be able to help her. And we just did it. And now she loves her bakery. And every person, she's like, have to use my realtor. And I love her. And I could tell she loves me too, which I love that. Like we've built this great relationship where, I tell everybody to go to her bakery. She tells I she bakery
Because like, is it a Hispanic client? Oh, yeah, you gotta tell me. Because my girls are always. He's like, vamos por pan dulce. Yeah.
love it. I know kids are always on.
Yeah. It's cool. But good. I love that. And honestly, the thing that stood out to me the most from just today, I've been wanting to talk with you more for a while now, just to get a little more in your head and understand why you're so passionate about this, because I've seen over the years just you're always just glowing, you're happy, you're genuine, and I really, really respect that about you. But as we were talking today, what really stood out is that you're authentic with your sincerity and calmness.
Yeah.
So,
Appreciate
yeah. No, well, thank you for showing up that way, and not just for your clients, but in the industry for your peers and really everyone, because I feel like people are always watching. We never ever know who we're going to impact, inspire, or hurt, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I agree. No, I I appreciate it.
Yes, of course. Well, I do have just one more question.
Okay.
Um, and that's as you think back to when you did start, what is something that you wish you would have known? Or, like Anna today, if you could go back, even maybe even before real estate, is there anything that you would have told yourself?
Oh my gosh. You know, like, well, I feel like I didn't know the impact I was going to have in so many people that I've met, like, and it's just me doing my job, like,
I
it's
like
like,
that you think that
yeah,
because for you, it seems like, oh, this is the basic thing I
yeah,
do. But for others, it is a lot and they can't keep up with it.
yeah. And I think when you just start or even before, you're just kind of like in this limbo of like trying to figure out what you're going to do, what makes you happy. And I love serving, right? I think I could do better sometimes in like community service stuff, but like, I think it just makes me happy when people are happy. So if I look back then, I would be like, you have no idea how many people you're going to help and how many people are going to be so glad that they connected with you. So knowing that's now,
Great. Well, no, and that kind of just goes back to what we were saying. Like, people are always watching, and it's important to be kind and be clear and supportive, and you are a walking example of that. So, yes, no, I know you're going to continue to make big ripples in our industry, and yeah, kind of what do you have planned for the next year or three, or something you're super excited about?
I've been kind of thinking about adding the people as a team to me.
Okay. That you can help mentor?
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
that way we can help each other. I feel like when people start, they don't know what to do. Yeah, I can help them and then that can release a little bit less on me and I can focus on, getting maybe more clientele. I've just been thinking about it. We'll see how it goes. I think as you get busy, you start thinking like, okay, maybe it's time to
And add and delegate. Yeah.
but for me, it's like if I add people, I want to make sure that they're taken care of as well. So I just want to make sure it's a good timing for everything, and I want to own more multiple properties, so that's in the plans too. I, built my home custom, and I want to do it again. So, that's in the plans too. And this time, I'm gonna share the journey from beginning to end, so people can see it.
Like, hey, I'm here in the trenches with you.
GMOT or digging.
I love that. Wow. Well, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Very exciting. I will be excited to see whether you do build a team and whatever you need, right? Like I'm here, but I'm excited to see that.
Thank you.
And yeah, ooh, keep me updated on the home too.
I know. I'm like, it's so fun for me. My
Yeah.
husband's not so
He's like, not again.
not again. Our house is fun.
Well, because also tell me why every time you move, you all of a sudden have these things that you didn't need ever. And you're like, how did this get here?
I know. You're like,
So we feel you for those that are thinking about bike. We know.
we know. We don't struggle.
Yeah, it's worth it out there.
Oh, yes. 100%.
Awesome. Well, hey, no, thank you so much. This really is fun for me. I love getting to know people, and I know that others are going to appreciate just knowing you and how you do deliver and reach out to you, whether they want you to help with selling or buying, but also your peers. This will be great for them to see that it doesn't have to be hard and you can make it fun and just come from a place of service.
Yeah. Yeah. And all with, consistency and just being genuine, it all works out.
Yeah, great. Well, I hope that everyone notes that because it is a industry of relationships.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I'm like, that's the only thing that I've always like. This is 100% relationships. You always want to be good with everyone on the other side of the transaction. That's big for me when I have another agent tell me like, "Hey, it's great to work with you." I'm like, "Same," and this is the whole
Like such
yeah.
a really well, and then if you run into them again, you're like, we've done this yet.
Before when the market gets crazy, when
We
interest
get
rates go down,
to help each other
we
out.
help each other out. If you have a listing and I have an offer, what I could do. So yeah, I think it's huge. Relationships in real estate is like 101.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. This has been great, and there's a lot of nuggets there to take away. I hope we can do it again just to get to know you more. But yes, thank you. Thank you for having me, of course. And thank you guys again. This was Anna Hardy with a lot of beautiful nuggets for you. We'll see you next time.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please rate us, like us, and share this podcast with our real estate community. The Nova Show Real Estate Record, sharing raw stories of real estate, failures, lessons, wins, and successes. This is all from Novation Title, bringing a different experience into your world so that we can all uplift each other. Until next time.